Welcome back. It's been way too long, I know.
I've been on a whole new vibe these days.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another installment of the Crack Paddles podcast. We have a lot to catch up on. I am your host, Alex Crum, alongside the centerline man,
Kevin Dong.
Kevin.
We got episode 47 today.
47 today, and what a sad episode it will be as I walk you guys through the demise of the single specialists at my own bloody hands. So we're going to obviously talk about the end of the Columbus Sliders season. We'll do an MLP Newport Beach recap, kind of, as well as some end of the year thoughts for me. And Kev was busy in Detroit.
Motor City
playing APP Detroit. So that's kind of going to be the meat and potatoes of this episode. We're going to hit you guys with 2 episodes this week, hopefully. Hoping to get Danielle Townsend on the podcast in a couple of days, to my former teammate, to talk about the MLP finals. And then we'll break down a little bit of the start of the PPA season, because starting next Monday, you have the national championships of the PPA Tour. So a lot going on, Kevin.
Starting next Monday, you have the national what?
Yeah, that's what this is. So the first tournament of the year is 2,000 points, and it's meant to be like the 4th major.
Even though like the MLP is going on?
Yeah. So like
That's so interesting.
The people who are playing in finals, like they will have to get to New York to carry North Carolina on that Monday. I don't think anybody who is on the remaining 4 teams are playing in qualifiers like your boy. But yes, there was a scenario in which, like, say if the Sliders had made the finals, where I would have had to literally like fly from New York to North Carolina Sunday night and then played in singles qualifying and mixed qualifying on Monday. But I took matters into my own hands, and I will be there in plenty of time.
Tough. Well, we can talk about that. I'm excited to share some lessons learned from Detroit. There's a lot, and let's get into it.
All right, Newport Beach, Columbus Sliders defeated by the Brooklyn Pickleball team, 2-1. It was very close all the way through. I guess the last match, you could make an argument, wasn't that close. They beat us 3-1. But yeah, obviously it stinks. You know, it was my first MLP experience, and it felt kind of like a long season in a way. It just did.
It's tough with your injuries though, too.
Yeah, and it's tough because I wasn't, it was like sometimes I was practicing a lot at the venues and stuff like that. Other times I was trying to be mindful, and so it was just kind of more or less sitting and hanging out for 5 days, which, was fun. I mean, they're cool places, and obviously you have team dinners and everything else. But yeah, definitely wasn't able to practice as much as I would have liked to. Obviously I'm still working on getting the knee back to where it can handle that kind of load. But yeah, it was sad to have the season come to an end. Definitely feel like I made some lifelong friends and learned a lot, and it's an experience that I'll always cherish. Now, with that being said, obviously didn't end for me the way that I wanted to. First match against Brooklyn, we went to a DreamBreaker, and I was not good, Kevin. I was not good. In fact, I would venture to say I was very bad. On top of that, like, I definitely had a hand in setting our lineup in men's singles, and like I personally felt like I was a better matchup for Christian Alshon, and Andre was a better matchup for Chris Hayworth. And that turned out to be, at least in this particular DreamBreaker, completely wrong. It was actually funny because, like, look, I know Chris Hayworth as well as anyone. He's one of, like, I've known him forever since we started
That's why I'm
playing
shocked
pickleball.
you didn't put yourself against him.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I watched the last 3 or 4 DreamBreakers that he played, and what happened to me, or what happened to him against CJ, you could say, the next day, which we'll get to, happened to me. Like, it's hard to hit a passing shot when you're tight, and that's what he relies on. He never moves forward. He sits there and hits ground strokes and waits till you move in, and then he tries to pass you, and most of the time he does. So I watched him struggle, not struggle, but like hit some passing shots he would normally miss against Will McKinnon, who is like a short, much worse version of Andre. So I thought, okay, Andre's going to move in. Chris is going to get tight. Maybe he'll miss a pass or two. I just felt like Andre was going to put a lot of pressure on Chris, and I thought that I would get my looks to pass Alshon, and if I hit good passing shots, it was going to work out. Unfortunately, I missed every single passing shot that I hit, and Chris shredded Andre with passing shots. Andre, after the match, I remember looking around and be like, that was the stupidest strategy. Like, why am I coming in on this guy? Because anyway, it's 8 points. Anything can happen. Yeah, I
maybe some recency bias in your data analysis.
Sure, maybe
there.
some recency bias. Maybe I should have played Chris. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered at all. On my end, yeah, I played awful. I mean, I was incredibly tight. It was 8 points, 8 rally scoring points. It felt like it was over in a blink of an eye. So much of that, at least in my DreamBreaker experience, so much of like how the rest of the DreamBreaker goes is that first point. Like if you win that first point, it's like, whew, like your whole body feels like it relaxes. When you lose the first point, which I did, and he hit a good passing shot. I didn't do anything wrong, but everything just tightens up even more.
But you're fighting to get back to even, let alone ahead.
Right, exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, look, I stayed back. I didn't move forward on him. I stayed back. I hit a few ground strokes. He came to the net, and I would miss. That's pretty much how it unfolded. Hate to go down like that. Wished I would have moved forward a little bit more. And I'll be completely honest, Kevin, like everything about it felt very foreign. Little fun fact for you. The Columbus Sliders had not played a DreamBreaker in over 2 months.
Yeah.
So we played one in Dallas in May. We played another in Columbus in May. And our last DreamBreaker that we played as a team was on June 11th. Okay, was on June 11th. The playoffs, our first match against Brooklyn was on August 15th. So we had not played a DreamBreaker from June 11th to August 15th, right?
Basically the whole season.
Basically the whole season is what it felt like. So I think for me and for UD, like we were like, it just felt, you know what I mean? Like we did not feel super comfortable or confident out there, and it showed. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of discourse, death of the single specialist, yada, yada, yada. I think it's just all situational, right? Like I do still think there is value in having a player on your bench who is more prolific at singles. Do they need to replace someone like a CJ Klinger and Andre Dascu? Probably not. I mean, to be honest with you, probably not. I mean, Chris is the #1 singles player in the world, and he's a little bit better than 500 this year. Maybe. It might even be close to 500, and he is the clear-cut #1. You know what I mean? Hunter has played one DreamBreaker for the Shock, and I think he went 7-5 against Chris. Like, you know what I mean? Now, if you have somebody like a Dekel Bar, for example, who plays 0 singles ever, is a little older, maybe can't move as well, fine. Or you have like, I can't even say Tina. She hit the greatest ATP of all time.
True.
But anyway, my point is, if you have someone that is truly like you feel like a liability, fine. But if not, does it make sense? Maybe not, right? So I was good in DreamBreakers all year long. Obviously, there was way more pressure on me in this one, and I just think that like the moment was big, and we were so. Not inexperienced, but like it had been so long since we had played one that it felt very foreign. Whereas Brooklyn, I think, has played in 6 DreamBreakers in like the last 3 weeks. So
yeah, I feel like it's also difficult when if it is a truly single specialist role, like that person doesn't get much of a warm up, right? Like they're not battling for an hour and a half and then playing the DreamBreaker. They're like having to hit, like I'm assuming at some point
in mix when it was 2-1, we warm up like okay, then you go back and you watch the end of the match and then you hit for maybe 5 more minutes. Obviously like when you're loose and you've competed already, your guard is down in that regard, right? Like you're more relaxed, you're just kind of in it. Say like you saw like CJ, go out there and be loose and play amazing. So. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, it's one DreamBreaker. If I go 5-3 or 6-2, do we win that match? Not sure. I mean, we definitely would have had a better chance. But again, I wasn't the only one on the team who was bad, and I don't place the entirety of the blame on myself.
Yeah,
But
team effort.
obviously, yeah, it stinks. To kind of have that be the last taste that I have of my competition in MLP. But look, we came back in the second match. Udi and I were out in the DreamBreaker for this one, which, to be honest, I think was probably the right decision. Like, because again, even if you roll us out there, there's a high probability that we do much better. But like the pressure that's going to be on us to perform in that is just not even like I think for Tyra and CJ in a DreamBreaker, they were much more relaxed or didn't have some sort of crazy pressure to put on themselves.
I mean, Tyra's last singles match was beating AOW.
Well,
right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, Tyra
She can
was
handle
I
her
mean,
own.
well, yeah, and at one point I think she was like, top 10 in the world in junior tennis. Like sure, her tennis pedigree is insane. Um, so yeah, anyway, we go to a DreamBreaker in match 2. CJ walks it off on Chris Hayworth, which was just like obviously in the moment and out there, like I want my team to win. I love CJ, like I've loved being a part of the Sliders. But like, yeah, of course, I was like, oh, this is great. Like, and it's funny.
You were aware of the optics.
Right. Exactly. I was aware of the optics and I was like, this is perfect. And it's funny because Hayworth texted me right after and he was like, ain't no way. And I was like, you and I have both single-handedly killed the single specialists in 2 matches. I said, I got murdered. Now, also, like, let me mention, like, it's not like I went out there and did poorly against like a mediocre singles player or even a good singles player.
Right.
Christian Alshon is number 4 in the world at singles. So it's not like, you know what I mean? I wasn't playing someone that I should be. Sure, if we played a singles match tomorrow, I would give myself a good chance to win the match. But yeah, it's not like he's just some random guy who plays doubles,
What was Diascu split with?
Hayward,
Alshon.
2 and 6. Oh, with Alshon? The second time? Yeah, it was better than that. I want to
It could have been
say I want to say it was either tied or Andre like 7-5.
Gotcha.
So
wow.
yeah, so he did much better. Again, yeah, right. So like not only did I do bad against Alshon, I also recommended the lineup switch where we went to combined 3 and 3 and 13, I think is what we went against Chris and Harris. So yeah, I'm sure our owner was thrilled, but I thought it made sense, and I wasn't the only person who thought it made sense. I had watched a lot of these DreamBreakers.
It's tough because
I was wrong.
I sample size of data is just so small, and I feel like in Pickleball, recency bias has a huge weighting in people's decisions, right?
Yeah,
and sometimes it shouldn't, but
yeah, I mean, look, that's
oftentimes
on me.
It does.
That's on me. It was the wrong decision, and maybe if I play against Hayworth, we're both sitting there at the baseline ripping. I get in more of a rhythm. The nerves are shaking out. You know what I mean? Because I can guarantee you, the first point we played probably would have been an 8-shot baseline rally. Like it just would have been, and maybe that would have loosened me up a little. I don't know.
Yeah, just being able to strike a bunch of balls and like
right. Because against Alshon, it was like hit one. I hit a horrible. He served. I returned, stayed back, and then he didn't come forward, which surprised me. I hit a horrible approach, move forward, mediocre volley. He hit a passing shot, and then most of the rest of the points were just me missing passes by like this much. So. Yeah, and I mean, and that's not really how you want to play in a DreamBreaker. You want to move forward and at least make them pass you. But like it's hard because at that point you're like, just don't miss a return. You know what I mean? So it's like it's definitely a tough balance there. But anyway, moving on. So we end up winning the second match in a DreamBreaker. CJ is the hero. Pretty awesome moment. We were down like 18-16. CJ comes in at 18-all. A little bit of a let court, and yeah, plays phenomenal last point. Open court volley winner. Honestly, after we won that match, I thought for sure that we would come out and beat Brooklyn in the deciding match. That is not at all what happened. Their women, Jackie and Rachel, took it to our women. We lost men's. Christian and Rachel were up big on Andre and Paris. Andre and Paris fought back to win that. And then, CJ and Tyra, I think we're down 9-0. Against Riley and Jackie, and like came back to like 9-7, or maybe it was even like something like that. And then Jackie and Riley end up winning. They end up defeating us 3-1 in that last match, and Brooklyn is headed to New York. So Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people would say they thought the Sliders underperformed this year, especially after we made the trade for Tyra. I don't necessarily see it that way. Um, you know, it's just one of those things, right? Like, it's one game to 11. I think, yeah, I think a couple points here or there. It's just it's one of those things, So.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, do you feel like it's like match management or just like,
It's hard to say. I feel and it's. I feel like so much of it is like energy and vibes, like of you and your partner. And I mean, I know
do
Paris
you
and
think more
Tyra,
chemistry?
like maybe, like I don't know. I know they're
Interesting.
they're they're friends and they have played a lot on the PPA together, but I don't know. I couldn't pinpoint what I thought went wrong because I thought that they played some incredible matches. Like the
Mm,
match that Paris and Tyra played against Anna Bright and Kate Fahey, they lost the match, like that was like some of the highest level I've ever seen in pickleball. And it's like, if you look at the women's teams they lost to, like Rachel and Jackie are both top 10 players. Tyra and Paris are both top 10 players. Like,
right.
yeah, they're all so good that the margins are so thin.
Yeah.
So I thought we were capable of winning it all. I didn't expect us to, but I thought we were capable. And yeah, again, I will look back on this fondly. I don't know if I'll ever get drafted to another MLP team. I mean, it's certainly possible. I hope that my doubles level is such that I make it so that a team has to draft me based on my doubles results. But
Yeah.
that's certainly not guaranteed. And I will look back on the whole experience fondly.
Yeah. Basically, with your current resume, it might be difficult to get
Right.
drafted again unless someone needs a singles
Right, and they
specialist and
and
believes in it.
had this last DreamBreaker not happened, I think I for sure they would have been like, Crum was great in DreamBreaker,
Yeah,
so they'll go
exactly.
back and
Yeah.
watch the one in the playoffs and be like, yeah, keep that guy off my team.
And again, it's going to
So
be recency bias, unfortunately. But yeah, because that's going to be the last bullet point of the
correct,
resume.
correct,
Yeah.
and again, like I said, a lot can happen in a year. So I'm hoping that my knee is 100%, that I'm playing good doubles, and that some team takes a flyer on me for doubles. That's obviously the goal, but if that doesn't happen, I will look back fondly. I survived the whole season, had some nice moments in there, met some new friends, and got to travel to some new places. And yeah, like I'm on a trading card. There's a card of all the MLP players got their own card, like whatever, just stuff like that. Having your name announced, like. Again, I know that I'm not the
Doing the
youngest guy
walkout.
out there. Yeah, and all that. Like, I know that at some point I will look back and be like, yeah, that was a very good experience. So I'm happy I did it. I mean, was it the best thing for my pocketbook? Absolutely not. But overall, yeah, no regrets. Maybe wish I would have taken on Chris and not Alshon and flip-flopped it, but what can you do? I certainly wasn't the only reason that we lost that match. But yeah, it was sad, but now I'm happy to kind of turn the page and look forward to the start of the PPA season. So we can talk briefly about the other matches. St. Louis absolutely annihilated Texas. No surprise there. I think they're the most talented team. Probably. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I go back and forth on this. Like the Shock and the Fives are like the two villains in MLP, right? But neither one of them have won it. I don't know who I'd rather see win it. Probably the Shock, just because like they have been a team for so long. You know what I mean? Like Kate Fahey played for the Shock when she was not as good as she is now.
Right.
Same thing with Hayden and Gabe. So like they've invested, not that it's much to them, but they've invested so much money uh into that franchise, and like between having Eric Lang on the sidelines and having a full videographer crew, like they're genuinely like those guys, say what you want about the Chafitzes, but like they are doing their part to like push pro pickleball to the next level. And
Hmm.
so I probably would want to see them win over the Fives. But I'm rooting for Dallas, which I think everyone is, which moves us on to the next point. Dallas beats LA, beats Ben Johns. Danielle, who hopefully we're going to have on Tuesday, kind of cementing herself as a star in this league. Obviously, Augie and J-Dub and Brooks been insane and mixed as well. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was crazy. I don't think anybody was like stunned that they beat LA, but anytime Ben Johns goes out, and gets kind of abused out there, it's definitely going to be a talking point. So you've got Dallas, St. Louis, Brooklyn. Final team is the New Jersey Fives, who I don't know how much, if any of this you watched, but yeah, they definitely didn't look great against Palm Beach.
Like men's doubles was struggling.
Yeah, men's doubles is still struggling, even with the addition of my pal Federico. Yeah, I don't know, and their mixed doubles team as well. I think no way. I mean, I feel for the guy honestly. Like that has to be
There's so much pressure on the guy.
So much pressure, and I think he's handled it like pretty well. But I think it like gets to a point where you're just like, ah! And I think he might have reached that point. So it'll be interesting to see like what they do because they went to a DreamBreaker with Palm Beach, and the DreamBreaker was close. Like,
oh yeah, it was like
yeah, Sophia got the best of Anna Lee in that DreamBreaker, and yeah, Fed kind of owned Tyson towards the end of that, or else that could have gone either way. And you would think that Palm Beach would be a team that New Jersey would handle decisively. So I think that was maybe a wake up call. You might see some different things. I don't see anybody beating Georgia and Fed at the 2 spot. That's the only thing. Like I obviously Hayden and Gabe are capable, but Fed and Georgia at the number 2 spot is so good. So it's like funny, like their men's doubles and their mixed with Anna Lee has been the one that's been causing them trouble. So anyway, all that to say, it will all be settled this coming weekend in New York City. I do think it's a little crazy that you have both the semis and the finals like at the same event. Like I think it would have been better personally if you did like good quarters and semis maybe in Newport or like made it a week-long thing. I think it's just a lot to try to. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm going to tune in. So maybe for the viewers, it's like electric just to have like wall-to-wall meaningful pickleball for 3 straight days, like basically like nonstop. But yeah, I think in the future, and maybe they've discussed this, but it would be nice to just have like the finals be the finals. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. I agree.
Especially because like literally 1 day later or 2 days later, you have a really big tournament starting. So, but anyway, again, like as a viewer, I've enjoyed watching MLP when I had skin in the game. I still think it's a super exciting product, like the parody. And yeah, I'm interested to watch and just like see who wins. I mean, I know all the players. Have spent a lot of time with like, not necessarily like the people, but I've seen them. I've seen these yahoos all summer long, you know, so I'll be interested to see who wins it. And again, Dallas is definitely the underdog. So I'll be rooting for them, I reckon. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got, Kevin. I was kind of rambling there, but once the slider, always the slider. Good experience. And yeah, if that was my last DreamBreaker, it's a sad way to go out. But hey, I finished the season with a winning record. That's all I'm going to say. Even with my bad last DreamBreaker, I'll finish with a winning record.
There you go.
Just barely.
And now that that your match is done, now I have no more conflicts, and I can only root for the Brooklyn Pickleball team. So
yeah, you can.
They're probably more underdogs.
Yeah, you can root for your girl Rohrbacher. I like Rachel. She's a good egg, and I like Chris, and I find Alshon fascinating. And who's the little Brooklyn super fan? Jake Jelvar.
Yeah.
You know Jake. He's there's nobody who rides harder for Brooklyn than Jake Jelvar. He was there.
I met him a couple years ago in New York, I think, briefly.
I know, man. You were like a DC pickleball super fan.
Yeah, exactly.
There for a while. So yeah. Anyway, all right. To sum that up, I suck. Bad man. I'm a bad manager as well. And yeah.
GM won't be in your future, but you know,
I think I would be a good GM actually, but like you said, there's a small sample size, Kevin.
You need some support staff around you if you're going to be a GM.
Yeah, maybe I should have ran that one through with you, my IT guy.
I genuinely thought you were going to go against Hayworth, but that's okay. All right. Next up, should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. We
gotta go to the Midwest.
We gotta go to the Midwest. I'd say if the MLP playoffs were in the Midwest, I would have crushed it for sure.
Yeah, this is in Detroit, Michigan. But what else is in the Midwest?
Midwest
Oh.
Racket Sports. Midwest Racket Sports. Midwest Racket Sports. We love Midwest Racket Sports, Kevin, don't we? It's been a big week for them. I think Arthur Fee defeated Francis Tiafoe in the finals of the ATP Cincinnati Open, which is one of the biggest tennis tournaments in the world. Our guys at Midwest had a giant store there. I hope you guys, if you were in attendance, you checked it out. Midwest Racket Sports is our favorite place to shop for all things tennis and pickleball: shoes, hats, bags, paddles, rackets, etc., etc. They always have the best deals on shoes. That's what we try to keep you guys hip to. The key is here, okay? The secret is you got to find an item that is on sale already, which is a lot of things,
Or on clearance.
And when you do that, you're going to say, I know how I can make this even cheaper. I'm going to use code CP15. That's right, code CP15, and you can come up with some truly incredible discounts because you get the discounted price plus an additional 15% off. One of the best deals in showbiz. So go to MidwestRacketSports.com, use code CP15, try to find those clearance items, gear up, game on.
Love it. I mean, it's a crazy deal when you find especially if you go clearance, and then it's crazy because that's what I'm about to do for my wife for her pickleball shoot. First pickleball.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All
anyway.
right.
All right.
Use
Detroit.
code Mackie. Just kidding.
Maybe one day.
exactly.
She'll have her own codes. Yeah. Okay.
Get your own codes, Maggie.
So the APP Detroit tournament. This was in a convention center. So it wasn't at a pickleball facility. It was at a convention center.
I love convention center pickleball.
You do?
It might be a hot take, but I love it.
Okay. So in this group chat with a bunch of pickleball players in it, there were very mixed reviews. Some people were like, guys, I don't see a problem with it. It's fine, whatever. Some people were like, like the surface is like literally just a thin sheet of pickle roll on straight concrete. Like they didn't put extra layers. It's like literally just straight concrete.
Yeah.
And then a tiny layer of pickle roll. And I will give them credit at least. The pickle roll, I feel like in my head, pickle roll doesn't play well. But for the most part, there were like minimal bad bounces. Like, and when I say bad bounce, it's really just like, kicks a little bit extra. It wasn't, there's like almost no issues with bad bounces from my experience. Except when if the ball hit a seam, like where the checkered sheets of pickle roll line up, every now and then there was like a bad connection, and sometimes they would hit that. But during matches, I never noticed it. But they were very gritty, so balls would kind of like either kick off a little bit differently every now and then, especially when people put a lot of spin on them. And then because they were so thin, dude, like everyone's joints were taking a beating. There definitely people that had already like lingering issues and stuff. Like, I was talking to people and they're like, yeah, like joints don't feel great. Like, when I was driving home, like a 4-hour drive home, like my knees were like super inflamed. I was like, dude, like this is brutal. Like with the adrenaline, no issues. Like I didn't feel anything during play. But I didn't have like the greatest day, but I also didn't have a disaster day either day. So went 2-2 in mixed and 2-2 in men's. So I spent a little bit over 4 hours on the court in mixed and a little bit under 4 hours on court in men's. That's 8 hours on that concrete. Like, dude, it did not feel great. But that being said, just a general thing was confusing. One more thing before we get to the actual lessons learned. Dude, there were not that many amateurs or just people generally. Like if you rent out this massive convention center, you would hope to like fill it, right? Because there's so much space. It looks a little weird when there's not a whole lot of people there.
Yeah.
There were like, someone was saying there was about 300 registrations for this tournament. And like APPs used to have like 800, 1,000 plus per tournament, like player registrations. So I feel like, dude, they got to do something to get that number up, like whatever it is. Cause, the atmosphere is, it was a little bit more reminiscent of playing a brick wall. which again, I love what Cody's doing. Like I love his like mission of like put the players first and everything else will follow. But my only critique of the Brick Wall tour is that like there's no atmosphere. Like it literally just feels like you're showing up to play some rec games.
Yeah.
And when there's not that many people in this huge convention center, like it kind of felt a little bit like that with APP.
Yeah.
But anyway, hopefully that gets better. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Hopefully someone else is smarter. But anyway, mixed played with Ali Reichert. And after mixed, I bought her ice cream because I was like, you literally carried me today. I played like shit, and you deserve this. So here's like a huge group of us got some ice cream after that, and I was like, yeah, like I think I owe you something because this is I didn't really do anything all day, and you're like carrying us through a couple of wins here. But generally, like I just feel like not that I played bad, but my transition was just not that clean. And I feel like I've historically been working on my transition a ton, and I have good days and I have bad days. And this day just happened to be a not so great day. And it was just a little bit more inconsistent and more inconsistent than I would have liked. And I feel like it was specifically like the quality of the third shot. Like resets and everything is fine. But because like the surface was so gritty, like allowing someone to take a ball that's bouncing high or just straight up out of the air and letting them rip a fourth was just like really tough because it's kicking so hard off of this like gritty pickle roll, and that just did not help us in mix at all. We lost to Allison Harris and Andre Mick, which there's a little bit of drama there, not with the players but more with the ref. I'll get into that in a second. But then we won a couple of backdraw matches. Then we lost to, I don't remember. Oh, we lost to Kelsey and Naveen.
Oh yeah, did you guys get annihilated?
We got annihilated, and
because I noticed that like when either Naveen or someone
Kelsey posted all the scores,
but then she didn't post that one, or like she sent
a screenshot and she said, "I did not do this on purpose, but it's kind of funny." And I said, thank you for blocking that out. But yeah, we got railed. And like, I was like, oh, like we literally warmed up with Kelsey and Naveen in the morning at like 7 a.m. So like our first reps of the day was against them. And we almost pickled them. It was like 11-1. And so Allie and I, before the match, we were like, oh, like let's do it again, like the warm up. Let's go. Yeah. Dude, Naveen, like, literally was swinging 100 miles an hour on his serve, return, and drives. And it was just like, we could not get into the kitchen because he was hitting his returns so big and deep that like our thirds were like horrible. And it was like, oh, like we literally can't do anything. Then when we were returning, we were like fighting off like like literally some of the biggest serves I've seen. The only person that has served bigger than this is probably Grayson Golden that I have played against personally. Yeah. When Grayson was probably using
the mod, yeah.
No. He was using a Core Crush Proton Flamingo. And I'm telling you, dude, he literally did not have it tested because the ref was like, where's your sticker? And he runs away, and then like 5 seconds later runs back and has a sticker. I'm like, dude, where did the sticker come from? There's no way it got tested in time. Like, and dude, it sounded crazy, and he was hitting the most absurd serves. But anyway, Naveen with a normal, not broken paddle was destroying these serves, and like they had so much spin too. So it was like not only were they rockets, but they were also like kicking every which way. And dude, we got curb stomped. It was not
Naveen's my guy though. He's a good dude.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely great. But I was like, dude, like this is like the exact opposite of our warm-up match. Like,
yeah, when I saw that the score line was blocked, I was like, oh, this couldn't have been too close. But it's funny now to know that it wasn't intentional. It just worked out that way.
Yeah. But no, props to them. They ended up getting 9th place, which is the grit medal for winning the backdraw. So well done for them. But yeah, okay. Before we go into men's, overall, my main lesson from mixed, like even just watching other people play, like I was watching Brandon Lane and Christine Max play against Jack and Amelia, and I was like, dude, literally like Jack and Brandon are just hitting every single drive and drop like this high over the net. Like everything is like it's just like there's not a ton of margin, but they're making everything right there within like 6 inches of the net. So, when I watch film of myself, everything's all over the place. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's like above people's heads, sometimes it's around their shoulders. It's like it's all over, right? So I was just like, okay, like literally I need the quality of the third shot to be like 30% better. Because I can reset all day, but at the end of the day, if someone's forced or, eventually, if you're just resetting all day, you're still like trying to fight your way back to neutral, right? Versus just like dropping and getting in clean. It should be like a reset if you need to, not every single transition is going to be a war to get in, right? Especially when the other team's not having to struggle and fight like that. So that's my main lesson is like I literally need to work on like the quality of my third shot. But
I feel like you grind your way to the kitchen line. Like you're like Kevin, you're like I'll hit 7 shots, but I will get there.
which is why like think about the tournaments I do best are usually when my partner is like Wade and he's taking every third and doing really well, and I can just go and put pressure.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I can get hot. Like for sure, and I feel like that's why a lot of people just start returning to Allie anyway. But I'm like I can get hot and cold on my thirds, but I'm just so shocked people don't just like only return to me. But anyway,
I need some more credit.
There can't be any APP pros listening to this. I doubt it. So, or I hope not. If they do, actually, I know a couple do. So maybe I should not say this, but okay. Anyway. One ref experience I have to share. Okay, normally, look, I'm not one to argue with refs, right? Like I know they're not going to change their call. Like it's like, all right, I'm going to disagree with this person. I'm going to move on and compete. Okay, that's fine. Allie and I made a nice big old comeback in game 2 against Allison Harris and Andre Mick, and I think we even had like a game point. And then they got it back, and it was 10-all. On the 2, they're serving. Like, we're straight up hitting overheads. They're scrambling for their life at the baseline. And I get called for a kitchen fault. And I was like, okay, that's really unfortunate. And then she goes, kitchen fault, paddle in the kitchen. And I was like, wait, are you saying that, like, I bumped into Allie and she stepped into the kitchen? She's like, no, your paddle hit the kitchen. I'm like, how is my paddle hitting the ground on an overhead? Like, what do we do? What are we like? I was literally like, there's no way. Like, that makes no sense. And she's like, nope, kitchen violation point. Now Allison and Andre have match point. And I was like, there's literally 0% chance. But I was like, okay, I'm not gonna argue. Like, we're down.
So she's saying that it on the follow through it hit the ground.
Yes, because so I watched the video back, full speed or slow mo. It just doesn't look close. Like there's inches away, right? Like I'm doing one of the things like I come over to Allie's side, I hit the overhead, I bend down, and I go back up to go recover a little bit more to where I was.
So there is video.
Yes, there's video, and it's a great angle, and it's literally like, dude, it's literally like it is. In real time and slow motion, it is not even close. And that's why I was like, I was obviously furious because I was like, of all the things to like have a bad call on, doing that at 10-10 when it's not even close, like 10-10-2, we would get the serve at 10-10-1.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Outrageous. And I was like, fine, whatever. Like, I'm going to compete. Like, literally, it's match point. I'll worry about this later.
And then you hit the next return of the net.
No. Made the return. They played a good point. We lost. Fine. Whatever. Like, but as soon as the match was over, I was like 0 to 100. I'm livid. Like, literally, like, the next thing on my mind is going to watch that camera and then going to show the head ref. Like, hey, your staff made this call, right?
Yeah.
What do you think is the first words out of the head ref's mouth? when I said, "Hey, Mike, I have something to show you. There's a call made at 10:10 and this is what the call is. I just want to show this to you." What do you think the first words out of his mouth are?
Well, it couldn't have been something particularly nice based on your tone. So maybe like kick rocks. I don't know. I don't care. Or it's in the past.
First words out of his mouth. Maybe not like the literal first words, but like the first like thing of substance that he said. Did you make any unforced errors in this match? Did you miss any other shots?
Oh my God, that's tough.
This is not the reason why you lost this match. That's what he says.
Dang,
and then I'm like trying to like explain that I'm not trying to change the result of the match.
You're just trying to you just want him to be aware more so that there was a mistake made.
And he's like interrupting me to let him finish making the statement.
He's like, Kevin, did you hit any high thirds? Huh? Did you play any? He's like, did you play any out balls? He's like, I saw that meatball return. It's you're like, all right, dude, enough.
Yeah. No, so I just sat there and took it until he was finished. And then I said, look, I'm not trying to change anything. I understand we lost. I understand we could have lost even if the correct call was made. I just would have appreciated a chance to compete at 10-10-1 when a critical error was made at a very big point and it wasn't even remotely close, right? Like, I'm telling you because you're the head ref. And this person is part of your staff. I'm not telling you because I'm angry at you.
Right.
I'm telling you for your education purposes and theirs. Like, I don't want to deal with this in the future, and I don't want anyone else to deal with this in the future, right? Like, and eventually he was like, okay, yeah, I've always known you to be reasonable. Like, yeah, well, thank you for bringing this up. But I was like, dude, like, yeah, just not my favorite experience at all.
I can imagine that you were pretty fired up, KD.
Yeah, which, I mean, normally, yeah. Actually, yeah, I would say, yeah, normally I'm human. I would like anyone else. I'm going to get upset at,
a pretty egregious call in a big moment. I would be mad too. That's just a pretty hilarious response.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Okay, but anyway, all right.
Men's.
Yeah,
I think the best thing to go from there is just to move on.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. Refs make mistakes. That seems like a pretty big one and a bad one to make, but
yeah,
it is what it is. Maybe Mike will take a look at that footage and get back.
I'm debating if I should post it or not. Like, it's just not like, I just don't know what I'm getting out of posting it, and I don't know if it's a look that I really want to put out there. But
yeah, I mean, I think that like, I don't like. It's not to the point where like if you post it, like it's not like that referee is gonna like receive message. You know what I mean? Like no one's gonna right. So like it's not like that. I don't necessarily know if there's any value or there's any harm. Like I think I'm kind of indifferent to it. If you post it, like okay. If you don't, like I don't know. What are you looking for? That's the thing. Like.
No, I mean it's more like it's more of a story of like this happened to me, right? But it's kind of like, do people care? Like, are they like, oh, like I've seen stuff like that too. That's so annoying. Like maybe that's like the benefit is like, hey, if this happens to you, look, the refs are human too. Like stuff like this will happen.
Yeah, you could frame it. And again, I don't think it would be like a jerky move to post it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Unless you were like, fuck her. Pardon my yeah.
Bleep it out.
Yeah, if you're like, if you dox the ref, you're like, that would be bad. But I know you wouldn't do that. So all right. Men's doubles.
Okay. Like I said, went 2-2 in mixed, went 2-2 in men's. Nothing spectacular. Definitely not particularly satisfied with our results, but at least generally speaking, trending up from Chicago to here. Because I went 0-2 in mixed and then 2-2 in men's in Chicago. Now 2-2 in both events. Ankle feeling much better. I do feel like in mixed, where I do generally historically like to play a little bit bigger than what I was doing. That's still a little bit of a factor for mixed. I mean, Allie, like I said, Allie was carrying me, right? Because She was even like taking she was taking some middle speed ups with her backhand because it was like, I just don't know if I'm getting there, like, and like trusting everything. But in men's, I feel like I just have a easier roll, so it's much more like cut once and I'm good versus like cut.
Right.
So I feel like the ankle in terms of men's is like, for all intents and purposes, 99% back. Mixed, I think there's still more room where I could get more of my athleticism back. But for men's, we played Jack Foster and Zach Card. Zach Card's got like some great results at like the Florida brick walls. So we were definitely ready for war. And it's actually funny. It was like the opposite of mixed. Like we warmed up against Randy Blanco and Andre Millett, and we literally like were on our way to getting pickled. Like we were down like 0-10 or something.
Yeah.
And like just not good. And then like we get the court assignment and the ref's like, hey, like just so you know, no warm up because you guys are here at 8:00 and we're supposed to start at 8. And I'm like, I've never heard a ref say we have to start at 8:00 sharp, so you have 0 minutes to warm up.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like, again, like you're not gonna change your ref's mind. So I was like, this is what we're dealing with. That's fine. We ended up winning that match like 3-5 or something. And literally, Wade and I flipped roles. I had more points won off of my drive or thirds than he did, and he had more speed ups out of the air than I did. So it was like
that has to be a first.
It's literally a first. Like we literally flipped our entire stat line, and I don't know why, but somehow it happened. But anyway, we got through that one. Then we played Ronan, Cameron, and Drake Palm. Both of them are really solid players. Like I feel like their thirds are insanely reliable.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, okay, we knew that we also had to do our part in transition, like create a little chaos, but also like get in. Dude, their counters, their hands are great. They literally gave us basically nothing to work with in transition, and we were a little too stubborn at first. They were trying to bait us into trying to create chaos, and they were just ready with every counter. So like in game 1, we took the bait. Like they were baiting us, and we were eating up all the bait and getting rocked by counters. So that was like a lesson of like, okay, like we can't just go a whole game of like, oh, we get opportunities and like against most people they would work. Like literally the same exact ball that I'm speeding up against Jack Foster and Zach Card, I'm winning that point.
Right.
That same ball against Ronan and Drake, getting it countered at my knees. Like, and even if it's not an immediate losing the point off of that counter, it's like we're hitting up and they're hitting down. So it's just generally the biggest lesson here is just being more adaptable. Like I feel like we did not do a good job stopping the bleeding faster. And even when we were like, okay, like let's stop crashing so hard or stop speeding up so early, like it still took us a little bit to get settled. So we were down in game 2, we made a big comeback. We had a couple of game points at 10-8. We just couldn't get in. And yeah, I'll give credit where credit's due. Like they had really good counters. Ronan hit some crazy fourths. Like he's really good at picking his spots. And like I feel like whenever someone has really good fourths, like your court positioning matters so much. Like he got me right at my feet so many times because I was trying to lurk a little bit and try and put some pressure in.
Right.
And like I could only do that when the third was like adequately
when it was bouncing.
good. Right,
or, yeah.
right. But there way too many times where like my feet were just like free targets and did not end up well. So I feel like whenever someone is hitting very good fourths, position is like 100% most important thing. And that's why I'm learning like my read is not universal against every matchup.
Sure.
Right. Like reading the return and reading my partner's third shot is like something I've always tried to focus on. But what I'm learning now is that just because the return is high and short, or you know right around the baseline, just because I have Wade slugging a really good drive, doesn't mean every single team is going to allow me to put pressure.
Right.
So that's the main lesson there. And yeah, I think when we were up 10-8, we had 2 game points to force a game 3. We just couldn't get in, and then I think I missed like Drake hit like a short low serve, and then I just like got tight and didn't like move early enough and like just sailed it the return a little bit long, and then it was just not a great end of that. So not a great taste. That kind of like transition awareness and like decision making kind of carried over for me. It spilled over into the next couple of matches. Like Wade and I were talking about it. Like I did not put pressure for the most part in any of the backdraw matches, and it was because I was like still shook from like the earlier match, and like in my brain I was like, oh, like it's not working, don't do it.
Yeah.
But Wade was like, dude, like this is a different team. They were sending so many drive counters like high enough that you could have poached and created more chaos. But I think I literally had like maybe one poach in each match of the backdraw versus having a handful usually.
Right.
And so that was my biggest thing, is like, even though we got another good win in the backdraw, and then we ended up losing to the Alex Emery and Mark Dancourt, who got 9th place. Yeah, just being more adaptable and faster to say, hey, like, is something not working? Okay, put it away. Or, another example is like I hit a flick through the middle, and Alex Emery like hit a counter right through the middle. It was like floating, and normally I would be flicking and Wade would crush the forehand. And Wade was like so surprised that I flicked it that he let it go through. And I was like, oh, we lost the point. I should go flick somewhere else. So then I was flicking it at Mark, and Mark's hands are so good, he was just putting everything down. And Wade was like, dude, like, we got the ball we wanted. Like, just go back to the other, flick the other way, you were fine.
Right.
Like, and, after that, like, every single flick that went to Alex was like a 0.1 for us, basically, for the most part. So it was like just being adaptable quickly, but also knowing what's a good data point and bad data point. I feel like
Sure.
I'm so analytical, like after the match and I'm watching film, but it needs to be like, hey, like in real time, we take a timeout. Can we make those adjustments like right away? And I feel like that's something that I just have. That's going to be harder to work on than anything else. I feel like the quality of the third shots is like, okay, I just get a ton of reps, work on my technique, and
yeah, that you can work on. The having the wherewithal, like in a match, to like recognize, to your point, like, okay, I'm playing a different team here now. Like, you have to make those decisions like so quickly, and even like if you acknowledge it to yourself, like, okay, like I'm not putting as much pressure on. Like, it's just hard to kind of like do it continuously. I feel like. So yeah, I mean, obviously the only way I think you can really improve on that is to like catch yourself in the moment and then, make the right decision, but it's hard.
And just yeah, honestly, I think it's just getting more reps and stuff, right?
Sure.
Like, and I have a few weeks of a break, and then I have like 3 tournaments in a row, so hopefully that will be like just helping like sharpen all that decision making and game awareness, like be even sharper, I guess.
Sure. The more you compete, the more, again, it's like what I was saying at one point, I felt like the DreamBreaker was my arena. I felt at peace in a DreamBreaker, and then you don't play one for 2 months. So I think the more you compete, Kev, the better your decision making gets.
Yeah. And I have to be intentional about using that muscle, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't use a muscle, it shrinks, like the DreamBreaker muscle.
Like my quad. That's why I still have a bad knee.
Yeah,
No,
dude. Okay, one more thing about men's. So in Chicago, I got my first ever win over Ryler because I was like freaking 0-5 against him or whatever before. Finally got my first win over Ryler 2 weeks ago. This time, I finally got my first win over Will Sobek. Like, yeah. So I've lost to him at least 4 times that I remember. I'm 0-4 against him before this weekend. Finally put one in the win column. He was playing with essentially like Elliot Shupp reincarnated into the APP. Like a lefty youngster from Poland, actually. Matusz.
Oh, that kid, yeah.
Dude,
yeah. He's good.
His hands are insanely fast, and he also like like Elliot kind of like his hands are so fast almost to a detriment.
Yeah, sometimes.
But then like Elliot also like he's so fast and he swings so hard. Like sometimes he's like overcooking these.
Right.
Like, dude, this guy, like he was like swinging so hard and fast, like it was literally like it turned into dodgeball because like his counters were good, but like if dude, it was either like get the heck out of the way or find the paddle to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Because dude, this kid was he's sturdy too. Like his quads are like bigger than my head, and he's like wearing these short shorts, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty intimidating. I don't know.
Gosh, man, it's all about the quads, dude. It's all about the freaking quads. That's why I'm meeting with my personal trainer tomorrow. Get the quads, fire them up.
He's inspiring me. I'm about to be in the gym like way more in the next few weeks. To like, I was already getting back in the gym, but like I gotta catch up to this kid.
Dude, you know who has Connor Mogul's quads are insane. If you ever get a peek at those bad boys, oh my god, they're freaking. It's like I don't know, they're massive. He has massive quads. Who else has big quads? You've got big calves.
I used to have big quads. They are definitely smaller right now.
Same, man. I used to have big quads. Tore the meniscus, and now I got baby quads. So, I'm like a deer.
Hey, we got some work to do. Before the new year, we'll check in and see how our quads are going.
I mean, that's like my last hope. It's like I'm gonna make sure that my right quad is the size of a freaking meatball, and if that doesn't do it, if that doesn't make it so that I can't play pickleball like 6 hours a day, then I'm giving up, going back to bowling.
Summer's ending. It's about to be bulking season. Okay,
dude. Yeah. I feel like what did I eat for dinner tonight? I'm already in bulking season. But no. Anyway, well, sounds like overall from my end, like a big takeaway that you've now played 2 tournaments in 2.5 weeks, and your ankle feels close to 100%. So,
yes, like I do think I need to continue doing the rehab and keep building on it to trust it. Like I feel like both days, especially on that concrete, like my shin, like my tibialis muscle or whatever, like the muscle along your shin was getting very, very tired. Like I could tell it was getting tired. So I wasn't concerned from a re-injury standpoint at all, but it was like, dude, like the fatigue was definitely showing.
Yeah.
So I still need to like do everything off the court, to
well, you now
use all these bands and do all the exercises on the Bosu ball, and do the other stuff. What's going on with my camera? But yeah, it'll be a work in progress, and then we'll get from 90 to 100 for mixed, and men's were pretty much there.
Godspeed. Good deal, Kev. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Yeah. Did you eat anything interesting in Detroit? Any Detroit style pizza?
No, but we had some good Korean food, and James, I don't remember his last name actually, but James, who works with
Master James?
Yes, Master James.
Master James. It's good. He's a good cat.
He ordered for me and Brandon at a Korean place, and pretty good. So
I would trust Master James.
Glass noodles with some bulgogi beef, and mixing that with the red sauce of like the tteokbokki, like fish cake and rice like cake thing, like that was delicious. But anyway, also wait, quick shout out. Cincinnati had a visitor to drill with us this week, Shelby Bates, and then after drilling with Team Cincy, she goes on and wins women's gold medal. And not only that, her and Christine Maggs were down 11-1 and 10-3. So they lost the first game and they were down 3-10. And they came all the way back to win that 12-10 and then 11-1 in the game 3. That's one of the crazier comebacks I've heard.
Yeah, that's pretty absurd. If I were on the opposite end of that, that's almost worse than going 1-7 in a DreamBreaker and eliminating your team for the playoffs. No, I'd say that's actually probably worse. That's crazy. Like I can't imagine how I would feel after being up like 11-1, 10-3, and then to lose like basically like 0-0 after that almost. Like basically they lost 12, 10, 11-1. Right. Like that's banana land. So probably not a great night at the Fudge household. Somebody say a prayer for Ryler. But that's tough. But hey, congrats to Shelby. That just goes to show you're never out of it till you're out of it. Shelby and Christine. Yeah, she played with Christine.
Yep. Yep.
Christine's a good girl. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, Kev. So what's next? We told you guys we're going to record again on Tuesday. We're going to preview the MLP finals. We will preview the start. I have a PPA tournament next week, which seems hard to believe. It is the National Championships in North Carolina. And just so you know, I will be in singles qualifying. So for all of you prospective singles players out there, like I said, I'm going to be like Anakin when they say execute Order 66. And then he's got the little young Jedi, Master Anakin, don't do it. I'm chopping you down with a lightsaber, you know? It's kind of like, Kevin, the way I feel about going back into qualies, it's kind of like when you throw a pig back into the mud. You know, say I'm a pig. You've taken me, you've cleaned me up, you've fed me fresh fruit and berries. No. That's not where I belong. I belong in the mud. That's all that's happening. So you guys better watch out for Quali AC because I'm coming for each and every one of you. Pigs getting back in the mud.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
So the fruit and berries represent the main draw, and the
correct,
mud is the
correct,
Okay,
and
okay.
the you know and the cards and the calling my name and being MLP, all of that represents, you know, I got the roof over my head. But at the end of the
Right.
day, Kevin, I'm a pig.
Right.
I got to get back to the mud.
Yeah.
So that's fine. If there's a pre-quali, put me in that one. I'll get there on Saturday.
I do think
There was the APP had a pre-quali for a while.
yeah, they did. So I do think we'll talk about this more on a future episode, but in terms of like up and comers, like what makes the most sense? Because for me, I prioritize reps, so I'm okay doing APPs or PPA challengers or break walls and stuff. But I would be curious. We should have this conversation another time about where an up and comer should focus in pro pickleball.
Yeah, I would say
A non-top 25.
All right, I would say look at Tristan DeSalt. That's what I would say.
All right. We'll talk more about it.
Tristan
All right.
DeSalt. All righty, guys. Thanks for listening. He is a great kid. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao.
That's not a little bored. That sucks. Life's tough. Last thing I need is more stuff. It's true. I need a little more time with you and more rose with my lunch. One piece of mind sometimes.